Good afternoon, and welcome to the celebration of life of David James Rowe. It is a custom in this church to light a chalice and offer words of invocation that marks the sacred nature of our time together. We light this flame as our fervent plea to brighten the dark corners of our hearts. We hold this flame, for in it is the promise of warmth for souls grown cold in loss and despair. We follow this light, knowing that in its glow we may find hope for peace today and all the days ahead. Now I'm going to light another candle. It's a candle of memory and hope, which represents the light David brought to so many lives. Knowing, even as the sacred spark of life is extinguished, its light, David's light, will still burn bright in all the memories of the past and in all our hopes for the future. In this time together, may we remember David, may we find strength in each other, and may we be reverent witnesses to the life he led. We come into this time with a range of emotions. Here, there is love, and there is the pain of great loss. Here, there is anger, sadness, and the overwhelming desire for things to have turned out differently. All of these feelings are so real, they're so true, they're all so valid. That's why we come together today to share the feelings, to share the stories, to share the memories, to laugh, to cry, to celebrate, to grieve together, to know that no one here is alone in their grief and loss, and that we, for this time and beyond, can hold one another in love and care. We're here to celebrate David's life in all of its fullness, knowing that no illness or single decision defines a life. He had so many times of delight and happiness, caring and friendship, sharing and love. We know that his spirit lives on in the hearts of all those who loved him. So let us celebrate his uniqueness, his vibrant life, and the gift his life has been to those who have known him.
Okay, hello. So I'm sick too, so hopefully I won't start coughing and sounding terrible. So let me get this one out first. Okay. So first I want to thank you all for being here to celebrate the life of our beloved David James Rowe, or Dave as we called him. We appreciate you all so much, and thank you to everyone who's watching from afar because it's being broadcasted. I'd first like to start by talking about how we got here today and why we're all here right now. So almost 7 years ago, Dave got sick, and they never really could figure out what happened. He was jaundiced, his liver was inflamed, and he had to have his gallbladder removed. After that, he was never the same. His symptoms would come and go and change, and nothing could ever get pinpointed. Every single test that was ever done was negative. So imagine having the flu, and we have it for 3 to 4 days, and then it's gone. He had it for 7 years. He had chronic fatigue, pain, gastroparesis, nausea and vomiting, migraines, brain fog, memory issues, no appetite, pains in his arms and hands, and weakness. And he tried his best, but day after day, things never got better for him. And there were no answers despite seeing numerous specialists back in Nevada and here. And when I was looking through his laptop, I saw that he was applying to the Mayo Clinic, which I didn't know he had recently done that. Dave was very frustrated and exhausted and sad. And the truth is, I and the kids and his parents and sister and my family, we have been mourning the loss of Dave for almost 2 years. These last couple of years were extremely hard. He was not the same Dave that we knew. He was not the husband I married, and I've missed him terribly. And maybe that's made it easier for all of us because we've already been missing him and mourning him. I don't know, but we've just been missing him so much, and we're always going to miss him. Dave recently said he didn't recognize himself anymore, and in the email he sent to say goodbye, he said, "I don't know who I am anymore, and I don't know how to fit into this world." I hope when Dave left us that his dad, my dad, our dogs Brady and Sandy were all there waiting for him to welcome him to a place where there's no pain, there's no sickness, and there's no sadness. I know he's resting now and doesn't have to worry anymore and isn't so tired anymore. He's strong, happy, energetic, and smiling down on all of us. And he's at peace. Okay, sad stuff mostly over. So let's talk about the man that I did marry. Dave was a 6'3" kid. He was goofy, but also serious. He was immature, but also mature. If you go into his game room, you'll see all sorts of Marvel trinkets and Star Wars stuff. Comics are framed all over the walls, arcade games, and he even had a ginormous fake hippo head that's still sitting in the garage, which he was very techie, and I'm not sure how I'm going to survive in this electronic world without his help, so I'll have to YouTube everything, and that poor man had to explain it all to me, and it was rough for him. But he was so smart, and he was so good at that stuff, and he could fix pretty much anything. Dave was born and raised in Santa Rosa, California, with his mom, Julie, his dad, David, his stepdad, Bruce, and his sister, Christina. Dave would tell me how he would jump on his bike and ride for miles and miles and go up into the woods behind the town, and he'd stay out all day. He was always going on little adventures. Dave said that in high school he was shy and a smart kid, or maybe you could call him a nerd, but he preferred geek because geeks are cooler. He told me how he would get paid to do people's homework. He also figured out how to hack into the town's library, and he was really good at computers and electronics. After high school, Dave joined the Navy, where he got his training for several years. He was stationed in Florida, New York, and Virginia. Then he moved to Colorado Springs, Colorado, but when his father had an aortic aneurysm and ultimately passed away, he needed to be closer to his family, so he moved to Reno, where his mom, Bruce, and sister had moved to. Dave got a job working at a geothermal plant and worked for many years and became a supervisor. He was very passionate about his job. He met his wife, Laura, and they had Noah together, and she also had her son, Chad. We both went through our divorces and ended up meeting on April 1st, 2014. I sent him a message on a dating website called Plenty of Fish, and those sites are awful with a lot of creeps, but I saw Dave and I thought he was so handsome, and there was something about him that made me reach out. We hit it off right away, and we talked every single day since April 1st, 2014. We had so much fun together. He proposed to me in Santa Cruz on the secret trip he was taking me on that he had planned for months in advance. And as we were driving out of Reno, he said, "Well, when we get to Santa Cruz," and I was like, "Is that where we're going?" And he was so mad at himself for letting it slip after months of planning the secret trip. We got married on 10/10/15, and we picked that day so we could both remember it better. And we had a small wedding at a beautiful historic schoolhouse in Reno. We had so much fun in Mexico on our honeymoon, just hanging out on the beach, drinking cocktails, eating tacos. And we had a trip to New York City with the kids, which was really nice. He was still able to do a lot more and walk a lot at that point, but it was getting harder for him. Dave loved going on adventures. We'd go for hikes with the kids. He would drive us out to the middle of the desert and we'd all dig for fossils. He loved going on trips. We'd drive over to California a lot, and we would drive up to South Lake Tahoe, especially when there were concerts like Dave Matthews Band, of course, and Steve Miller Band, Jack Johnson. Years ago, we went to New York City for a work training he did, and he wasn't sick at all at that time, so he was a blast to be with. We saw Wicked on Broadway, and he loves the movie Serendipity with John Cusack and Kate Beckinsale, so he wanted to take me to Serendipity for a frozen hot chocolate just like they had in the movie. He loved going to the movies and out to eat. Our favorite place to take the kids was Texas Roadhouse, and I swear we'd go every single week because they were so loud and rambunctious. That was the only place we could take you guys to where, didn't disturb everybody. When the kids were little, they drove us crazy, and we loved you guys so much, but you were wild. And one of the ways we would try to wear you out was having dance parties after dinner. Do you remember that? And so we'd play this loud music, and he and I'd just be sitting there, and we're like, "Dance, come on, guys, dance," and then trying to wear you out. And so that way we could have quiet time and watch our favorite shows and movies. And anytime they got in trouble, we were just hoping they'd get in trouble, and we'd be like, bed early tonight," and they're like, "No." Probably every night, huh? That's how we watched our movies. Sorry, kids. He also loved barbecuing for us. It was his favorite thing to do on the weekends. Friday, he'd text me and say he was running to the store on the way home to get us meat. He always looked forward to Fridays. He was an excellent barbecuer and cook. The last couple years, though, he just couldn't do it for us anymore. Some of his hobbies were hiking, riding his quad in the hills, shooting practice, and he had hunted. He built guns and computers. And he also, I'd forgotten, he bought this little tiny motorcycle, and he was a big guy, and he'd be on this motorcycle bzzz around the neighborhood, and it looked really weird. But he had fun. Where was I? Oh, he loved weird stuff like ham radios, solar-powered radios, and if you think of a Boy Scout, anything a Boy Scout would like, Dave liked it. So knives, pocket knives, samurai swords, backpacks, electronic stuff. He had all these little notebooks and these little tiny pens that he had to have. He had chapstick to last him until the end of days, hundreds of chapsticks everywhere you look. He loved Animal from the Muppets. So here's Animal. This is the one that's from our living room that looks over us every day. He also had one hanging from the back of his truck so that anyone behind him could see Animal. He had him on his license plate, and he had one like a little ball on his truck. He was his favorite, so Animal's here with us right now. He enjoyed woodworking, but has not been able to do it for a couple of years. Last year he bought a guitar and was teaching himself to play, but the pain in his hands and arms ended that. He loved to read and would read a book or more every week, but again, the last few years he couldn't do that either. Dave was very nostalgic. I forgot to write this in here, but he loved like old stuff. So even like candy, he liked all these candies from like the 80s, and he loved nostalgia. But he was also a sentimental man. And like any woman, as soon as her husband passes, she goes to his phone and goes through it, right? That's what we do. And that's a joke, so you can laugh. But it was so sweet because I found some of the most precious things that I never knew were even on there. So he had saved these keep notes that had the first time I ever messaged him with the dates and everything, like our first date, what I ordered, and all the dates after that, like the date and what we did and what I had. And he also had a section dedicated to what I liked and didn't like, and even said I was picky. And I mean, no one likes onions or tomatoes or mushrooms, right? Nobody? Or is it just me? Okay. Yeah. He wrote down all the info about the kids, too, so what they like to eat and not eat. And so Mia loved pancakes, Jacob didn't like vegetables, Noah liked grilled cheese. He had all these notes about you guys. I also saw that he recently looked up gift ideas to give my wife for her birthday. He was trying to make me happy, and he was trying the best he could. He would also get me weird little knick-knack things that guys usually find pretty cool. So for my birthday, he got me this electric solar lighter, just in case I ever needed to light my candles, and I didn't have a regular lighter, so I'm good if I need to light a candle. He was so precious, and I call him my special precious. I asked the kids what their favorite memories of their dad were. So Noah's favorite was when he drove across the country with Dave and the 3 dogs hauling a big trailer full of stuff, and that's when we moved across the country from Reno. And he got 6 or 7 full days and nights all alone with his dad. Oh, and he told me to say 6 or 7 days. You guys get it? Okay, Jacob's favorite. He did have another memory, but it's not appropriate. And it has to do about the saying, like, D's nuts, and we won't even go there, okay? But he has this other memory where I was working in the NICU, so I was away, and there was this big power outage, and he was stuck with the kids, and he had to take them up to the plant. And it was all dramatic, and there was like beeping and all this stuff going on, and Dave was having to deal with that with these 2 little kids, and they were giving him candy, trying to keep them all chill, but that was a fun memory, huh, Jacob? Mia's favorite memory is the one time that Noah and Jacob got in trouble, and he let her sit on his lap while he played a video game and gave her sweet popcorn. And she was always getting her brothers in trouble, and she was, the innocent one, probably not. And then we used to always do all their birthdays at Boomtown, which is this like thing back in Nevada for kids' parties. And she won a jackpot with Dave, and she got all these tickets, and he bought her a big old thing of Stuffies with those tickets. And she would pretend to fall asleep in the car so he would carry her into the house. His favorite movie at the moment, because it would change all the time, was The Martian with Matt Damon, where he gets stranded on Mars. And the movie he always watched before that was The Edge of Tomorrow with Tom Cruise and Emily Blunt. Those are both really good movies, so you should watch them. Anyway, he watched The Martian over and over, and he listened to it when he got ready, in the car, at sleep, or when he was sleeping at night. And in his goodbye email to us, he even said he was going to watch it one last time. The last song he ever listened to was Claire de Lune, which was playing when we all came in. Some might think that that's a sad song, but he thought it as a beautiful, relaxing song. And I'm glad to know he was listening to something that was calming in his hours of despair. Dave was pretty miserable most of the time. He would fake it the best he could. I imagine he faked it pretty well at work. I don't know how he was at work, but he was pretty miserable, but he certainly tried. His absolute favorite was his leather chair in the living room, and he has it all decked out with like his computer. There's 2 computers there, and these fans and a light. It's like this like captain's seat. But he was so happy sitting in his leather recliner with his computer and the TV on. And he had his dogs there. And so we would both just sit there and watch movies and shows. He either had Bella on his lap or Bentley, or both if Bella allowed it. And then Penny was always nearby, and she just stared at him, and it creeped him out, and he'd be like, "Stop staring at me, Penny," and she'd just sit there looking at him. The day we found out about Dave, Penny got even more sick, and we had to put her down 2 days later. And I hope he was waiting for her. Dave absolutely adored those dogs. And I have so much security camera footage of him in the living room, just talking to the dogs, and he was always humming and whistling. I don't know if he did that at work, but at home he was just like, all the time, constantly. So to hear him, you wouldn't realize how much he was actually suffering. But Dave is not suffering anymore, and maybe we are all selfish because we would rather have him here with us. But I see him right now with Sandy, Brady, and Penny, barbecuing a giant tri-tip and having a cold beer with his dad and my dad, and that brings me some joy. I loved that man so much. He was the love of my life, and I have missed him terribly, and I will always miss him now. He will be loved forever, and we will all cherish our happy memories with him. I think he is here with us now, and he can hear us and see us, and then he will head back to the barbecue. We love you, Dave, more than you will ever know, and we will meet you on the other side. I love you so much, and I'm sorry.
There are places I remember all my life, though some have changed, some forever, not for better. Some have gone, and some remain. All these places had their moments with lovers and friends I still can recall. Some are dead and some are living. In my life, I've loved them all. But of all these friends and lovers, there is no one compares with you. And these memories lose their meaning when I think of love as something new. Though I know I'll never lose affection for people and things that went before. I know I'll often stop and think about them. In my life, I love you more.
I am his son. I live in Reno. For you guys who don't recognize me, I'm sure he had some photos lying around though. One of the favorite memories I have is him trying to teach me how to shoot a BB gun. And he did it in a very interesting way. We had these little hills behind our house, so he took me up there, and it was freezing cold. So we had a layer of snow, and my hands had little gloves on them, and so without the gloves, my fingers were just frozen shut. And I don't know if he was trying to prepare me for an apocalypse where I need to shoot in the freezing snow, or if he just got it and was like, I'm gonna drag him out, get his butt frozen. But I sat there in the freezing cold complaining that everything was frozen shut, and he still sat there helping me try to shoot the little can we had. And that was one of my favorite memories that popped up when I was thinking of things to talk about. Another one is when we went across country with the dogs. He wasn't feeling too well, so we would have to find a spot where he was really feeling the food to eat. So we would drive for 4 hours, take a little stop, get some food, and he would load up on his snacks, and I would steal some. He really loved his sweet tarp ropes, and so I would eat all of them up, so we'd have to take another little stop to get some and fill up on gas, and let the dogs go to the bathroom, as well as he would try to find dog-friendly hotel rooms, which can be a little of a pain when traveling across country. He also loved camping. Living near Lake Tahoe, he really liked going and getting campsites. He used to own a little Jeep, so he'd take us up with the dogs and go camping up in Lake Tahoe. And he got a little thing for his truck, so it opens up to be a little bed. I don't think he ever got to use it. He was hoping to get it before we went across country, so we would have that option if there wasn't any places nearby. He also was hoping to get the little cover for the trunk, because we loaded the trunk full of things and the trailer full of things, and it was very stressful, I'm sure, driving with a bunch of blind spots like that. He also really liked his little trinkets. Me and the kids, we got into a game which required little figurines to use, and you unlocked characters. So being a guy who loved trinkets, he went and bought a huge tub of the characters for us off of eBay. And then he picked out his favorite and was like, you can't touch these because I didn't get these off of that. I went to the store and I bought them, so these are my characters. You can have the scraps in the bin. So he bought us a huge bin of those, and we loved playing the game. He also liked buying a bunch of things. He put a bid on a little car. I don't think he was planning to win because he had to ship it from across the country into Reno, and he fixed it up, and we took us on rides in it. It was a little red convertible, and it was the real fun to drive around the neighborhood. I don't think he took it anywhere else other than the neighborhood. He also had a quad. He would like to take us in the hills, do some sightseeing, and his little motorcycle, drive around the neighborhood, have us sitting in his lap, showing us how fast it can go. And then the last but not least is he liked seeing nature, so he would take us on hikes. I remember this one is he took me on a hike up to a hill, and it was quite a journey. I was not prepped or ready for this at all. So we start walking up the hill, and it just seems like it goes on forever. But he was like, all right, kiddo, come on, to pick up the pace. And so we finally get to the top of the hill with this weird boulder that he's like, all right, now scooch over so we can get a nice photo next to the boulder. So he was a very interesting man who loved his trinkets, nature, and especially his dogs.
A poem from Mary Elizabeth Fry. Do not stand at my grave and weep. I am not there. I do not sleep. I am 1,000 winds that blow. I am the diamond glints on snow. I am the sunlight on ripened grain. I am the gentle autumn rain. When you awaken in the morning's hush, I am the swift, uplifting rush of quiet birds in circled flight. I am the soft stars that shine at night. Do not stand at my grave and cry. I am not there. I did not die. One of the most loving ways to remember someone is to tell stories and share memories. So I would like to invite those who would like to come forward and share a memory of Dave that you hold. Perhaps it's a short story of an experience you shared with him, or it might be something he said or did that was significant to you. And if it's difficult for you to come up to the microphone here, I'll be happy to bring it to you if you raise your hand.
Thank you, Chris. Hi, I'm Bree Mosley. I'm April's sister. Dave was my brother-in-law. And I just want to thank everybody for coming today. And it's nice to see his friends. We didn't get to meet you all before, unfortunately, but hello. I was thinking, when I was looking through for pictures and things like that to share today, the picture that came up, one of the funniest ones in my camera roll was when we took the kids to a ball game. So out in Reno, we had a minor league team called the Aces. It's kind of like the Drive, and it was like a big deal. You know, you take the family out to the ball game, and I don't know why, but we were all there for some reason. And Dave was sitting right behind me, and I was taking a selfie, and he had the funniest expression on his face. Like he was photobombing me on purpose, and he was like cross-eyed and like making this hilarious face, and that is the Dave that I love to remember, and I always just refer to him as this big silly goose. And so for me, that's what I remember most about Dave, is exactly as April said. He was a big kid, a big, loving, funny guy who had the cutest hobbies. Like, seriously, it's no joke. He has a big artificial hippo head in the garage. He found wild things on eBay, and curating weird things off the internet was like his forte. If something got lost or broken, Dave would find it. He would find a replacement for it. There was some like Tupperware bowl or something that he once found on the internet that was like a family heirloom that got damaged in the dishwasher or something, and Dave found it. He found a replica on eBay. We could always count on it. So our little joke has been, how many more boxes are on their way to the house? We don't really know. But he was just full of life and funny and kind, and never met a dog that was a stranger. So if you know, dogs know. Dogs know good people. And he was a dog lover, and the only thing he loved more than his dogs was his kids. So I will say that. Noah left that part out. But he loved his son, Noah, very much, and he loved my niece and nephew, Mia and Jacob, like they were his own. And we're very blessed that we got to have our time with him. And I'm grateful for the life that he helped make with my sister, and that they both were able to find happiness in a second chapter. So I'm thinking of my favorite silly goose, and I hope you'll all remember him as a silly goose too, because I think he'd appreciate that part. So that's what I'm going to share today. We're going to miss him terribly on behalf of my family. We loved him very much, and we're going to miss him. And thank you also for Reverend Chris and our congregation here for hosting today, and for all of my friends here that are volunteering to help. I appreciate you very much.
My name is Carol, and I had the privilege of working with David for the last 3 years. And we didn't necessarily see the silly side of David, but he was our gentle giant. And many of his team members are back there today. And one of the conversations that we had in our office was the impact that David had on our office, because in our team members, we see elements of David because his hand has touched each of our new people as they've come in. They've sat with him, and they've learned so much from him. He was steady in our office, and he was a go-to person. We deal with bad days in people's lives, and David was always steady, never raised his voice. He was just always calm, always gentle, and somebody that we greatly admired and loved to work with. And April, I have no words for you, but Saturday when you sent that text, it was just such a hard day. And we miss him greatly, but we do appreciate you staying in touch with us and letting us be a part of the celebration of David today. We loved him very much, and we are going to greatly miss him.
I'm Christina. I'm David's little sister. To my family, I'm Chris or Chrissy. So that's how April knows me, because my brother would always call me Chris. I love how everybody talks about what a gentle giant he is, and I probably pushed his buttons further than anybody in his life. I start thinking back, and I'm like, man, I was a horrible sister. Maybe that's why he had so much patience. But I have tons of memories growing up with Dave. And it was 20 years ago that we lost our dad, and I think that really changed the trajectory of his life. I hadn't really been in contact with him, and our dad suddenly ended up in the emergency room in California. He was in Colorado at the time, and I was in Reno. And once he came out and everything, and it was like no time had passed, and he was my rock. And our dad was actually sick for about 5 weeks in the ICU before he passed. And Dave pretty much decided that he was gonna move to Reno. He didn't want to be away from family anymore, and we were really blessed to have all that time with him, with my mom and my stepdad, and bring in Noah into this world. And oh my gosh, April, you were definitely the love of his life, and you 3 kids meant the world to him. The absolute world to him. And he's very much going to be missed. Thank you.
Well, I was Dave's favorite mother-in-law. At least that's what I always told him. And when he and April first got together, and they would come to the house, and he was so sweet, and he would say, you know, we'd have dinner, and I'd, of course, be cooking and everything, and the house was always crazy with lots of people. And when they would leave, and he'd say, April, tell your mother thank you for dinner. Do you remember that? And I thought that was so sweet, and he was always so thoughtful and always helping. And you know, if I needed something done or something fixed, or if I needed a movie or there's something I could see, he was always able to get it for me. And I had this beautiful Fontanini snow globe, and and it was Italian. And my sweet little granddaughter Mia picked it up one day and dropped it and broke it, and I was just crushed, but I never said anything. And the next thing you know, that Christmas, I got a gift from Dave, and he had gone on eBay on the computer somewhere and found the replica to that for me. And that was the most precious thing I could think of, that he, went to that extent to make me happy. And we are going to miss him terribly. He was a sweet, sweet man and a gentle giant. Oh, yes. And I decided after my husband passed away, and I thought, I need to try to start filling some time up around the house. And so I mentioned, maybe I'll start doing puzzles. And so my daughter Bree decided she was going to get me this puzzle table thing that turned out way more giant than anybody thought. And it was a good thing because Dave got me a 1,000-piece puzzle to put together for the very first time. And it was the Thomas Kincaid. It was beautiful. Anyway, he was very special, and thank you all for coming.
Okay, so our old neighborhood that we lived in was all country, and we had a Pleasant Valley, what's it called, 4th of July parade every year. And he got on his little motorbike, and he had this ghetto blaster on the back of it, and he was blasting like, I don't even know what, some kind of American tune, and I was slightly embarrassed, but I got a video of it, and I'm like, this is so Dave doing that, but that was a memory.
All of these stories shared today are a sacred gift, as we have dipped into the well of love and memory. May these memories shared, as well as those unspoken, nourish you and hold you this day and always. This poem is called The Fallen Limb. A limb has fallen from the family tree. I keep hearing a voice that says, grieve not for me. Remember the best times, the laughter, the song, the good life I lived while I was strong. Continue my heritage. I'm counting on you. Keep smiling, and surely the sun will shine through. My mind is at ease, my soul is at rest, remembering all how I truly was blessed. Continue traditions, no matter how small. Go on with your life. Don't worry about falls. I miss you all dearly, so keep up your chin until the day comes we're together again.
Gonna put the world away for a minute, pretend I don't live in it. Sunshine gonna wash my blues away. Had sweet love, but I lost it. She got too close, so I fought it. Now I'm lost in the world, trying to find me a better way. Wishing I was knee deep in the water somewhere. Got the blue sky breeze and it don't seem fair. Only worry in the world is the tide gonna reach my chair. Sunrise, there's a fire in the sky. Never been so happy, never felt so high. And I think I might have found me my own kind of paradise.
Wrote a note, said be back in a minute. Bought a boat and I sailed off in it. Don't think anybody's gonna miss me anyway. Mind on a permanent vacation. The ocean is my only medication. Wishing my condition ain't ever gonna go away.
'Cause now I'm knee deep in the water somewhere. Got the blue sky breeze blowing wind through my hair. Only worry in the world is the tide gonna reach my chair. Sunrise, there's a fire in the sky. Never been so happy, never felt so high. And I think I might have found me my own kind of paradise. This champagne shore washing over me.
It's a sweet, sweet life, living by the salty sea.
One day you could be as lost as me.
Change your geography, maybe you might be.
Knee deep in the water somewhere. Got the blue sky breeze blowing wind through my hair. Only worry in the world is the tide gonna reach my chair. Sunrise, there's a fire in the sky. Never been so happy, never felt so high. And I think I might have found me my own kind of paradise. Come on in, the water's nice. Find yourself a little slice. Grab a backpack and lunch. You never know until you try. When you lose yourself,
You find the key to paradise.
Before I extinguish the chalice and candle, marking the end of our service today, I'd like to share these words. We are each other's immortality. Each of us is a skein of lives stretching forward and backward in time, connecting everyone we have known, everyone they have known, and everyone who will come after us. We carry each other back from the threshold of life and death. Some part of those we loved is gone forever, but some part is ours to have and to hold and to make real in the world. So many have received so much love and light from Dave Rowe. Take that light into your life and into the lives of all you encounter, and may you always be able to see that light as it is reflected in all that you do. Dear ones, go in peace.
Don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Rise up this morning, smiled with the rising sun. 3 little birds pitch on my doorstep, singing sweet songs of melodies pure and true. Sing, this is my message to you. Singing, don't worry about a thing. Every little thing is gonna be alright. Singing, don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. La la la. Singing sweet songs, oh sweet songs. Rise up this morning, smiled with the rising sun. 3 little birds pitch on my doorstep, singing sweet songs, melodies pure and true. Sing, this is my message to you. Singing, don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Singing, don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Don't worry about a thing, 'cause every